I wanted to talk a little bit here. Basically what I'm doing is drawing through the shorts that I'm actually looking at on the screen of my television that I'm drawing from. The importance of drawing through some of these things, you can't see them, but since I know the anatomy and I sort of know how things are falling together, I have to sort of draw through here. Like, I didn't draw this line because I see it, but because it helps me place where the greater trochanter lies on your upper leg bone here, and that helps me situate his musculature and everything, and it's sort of one of the points that I use to figure out the anatomy that's going on, since I have to draw through here in order to get things right. And I'm still thinking about, of course, the angle of the leg and how that is carried through from a different point on the drawing. My whole rhythm lines concept, I use that pretty much everything I do. Things flow. You shouldn't be measuring things out as like a grid. That's a very elementary idea when it comes to drawing, is trying to teach yourself to see that way. It's more important to draw through. If the proportions are off, you ought to be able to recognize it before you get too far on in your drawing into what you're doing. Just, your brain recognizes things. It's very important for you to get comfortable with that fact. You need to snap out of the logical neocortex part of your brain that's measuring and saying, you know, the logic, oh, this goes to this leads here, all these things you're trying to put together. You're trying to figure out because you're trying to learn to draw, of course, and so you're gonna use that part of your brain. But you also need to realize that drawing is sort of a process of going back and forth, using different parts of the brain, basically, and all the different things that you're trying to perceive and see and organize logically. And just the process of drawing involves your brain in many different areas. So if you're using your neocortex to map things out and sort of put some logic into what's going on in your drawing, and you get stuck in that mode where you're not even looking at your reference any longer, or thinking about these different concepts that I talk about, it's not going to be too long before you're realizing that, oh, the head is twice the size of the guy's torso, because you've been stuck on drawing the head for too long and you're not backing away, you know, snapping out of that neocortex and getting back to the quicker part of your brain, your limbic region of your brain, that's just instantly recognizes things and works quickly. It's sort of the survival mechanism of your brain, part of your brain that acts quickly, pretty much out of instinct. That's kind of what your recognition is. So I just wanted to mention that so that you're sort of aware of that. When you're drawing, you're using different parts of your brain. Really, these things I'm suggesting are they're not set in stone, but they're just ways to help you learn. They're not the only way to go about drawing something. They're a way for you to recognize why it's important to do this or that at such and such a time. What's interesting about art is that it can be different for everybody. That's true mastery, is to recognize that there is no one way to do things. So the correct way for a master to do something is his way. It isn't the right way, it's just his way.